AJ Griffin came out of high school as the 17th ranked prospect nationally per Rivals.com. He committed to Duke but suffered a sprained knee during a preseason practice and was forced to come off the bench and slowly build up his minutes. He made his first start on January 12th against Wake Forest and has maintained a spot in the starting lineup ever since. Griffin has provided Duke with some scoring punch and hot shooting with 3 20-plus point games since he's entered the starting lineup. Should Griffin keep up his current production, he's on track to have his name called in the top 10 of the 2022 NBA Draft. Griffin's biggest strength is as a shooter. As of the making of this video, Griffin is shooting a blistering 49% from beyond the arc this season. His footing looks a bit unorthodox on his shots, but he's very good at getting into a shot-ready position quickly regardless of circumstance. He's able to shoot off the catch or off the dribble and has a nice step back that he can use to create space to get a shot off. Additionally, he also has great touch on his shots inside the arc. Griffin is the type of player that is comfortable with the ball in his hands, but he's also perfectly capable of spotting up away from the ball and spacing the floor. He should have no issues fitting into an offense at the NBA level. Another strength for Griffin is finishing at the basket. While Griffin doesn't typically get a ton of air or separation while attacking the basket, he still is very good at finishing around the rim. He has great touch and also is strong enough to finish through contact. This ability to finish at the basket, coupled with his shooting, makes him incredibly dangerous as an offensive player. If you close out too hard on him from beyond the arc, he can attack the basket and finish consistently. If you sag off of him to prevent a drive to the basket, he'll just pull up. This offensive versatility on the wing will make Griffin extremely valuable to any offense in the NBA. One last strength for Griffin is his ability to handle the basketball. AJ Griffin profiles as a small forward or shooting guard, and as mentioned earlier, is perfectly comfortable working away from the ball. But when he does get the ball in his hands, he's very strong putting it on the floor. Some shooters are capable of attacking closeouts in straight lines, but when asked to dynamically handle the ball, they can't do as much. Griffin has a strong handle and is great at attacking closeouts, but he can also create shots for himself. Griffin doesn't have great speed, but with how well he can handle, he is still able to get to the basket and also create space to get to his jump shot. Griffin isn't an outstanding playmaker, but he definitely can be used as a secondary ball handler or shot creator when needed. The biggest weakness for Griffin is athleticism. While Griffin can dunk and will occasionally block a shot, he is mostly a below-the-rim player that relies on his strength and touch to finish at the basket. It seems like Griffin understands what he can and cannot do and compensates appropriately. I just fear there may be a bit of a shock adapting to athletes at the NBA level in terms of scoring at the basket. Griffin also isn't very quick or fast with or without the ball in his hands. He relies mostly on his savvy and handle to create shots. Early in his career, Griffin might struggle to score at the level he has shown he is able to at the college level. But that being said, his shooting gives him a high floor to work with while he adapts to NBA speed and athleticism. Another weakness for Griffin is on-ball defense. Off the ball, Griffin seems engaged and doesn't make dumb mistakes as a defender. But on the ball, his lack of athleticism can impact him at the defensive end. He has relatively slow feet on the perimeter, meaning quicker players can get runs at the basket fairly frequently when he is the primary defender. He can overcome some of this with his strength and length. He possesses a 7-foot wingspan. He can keep people away from the basket a bit because he doesn't get pushed off his spot easily, and he is able to swat some shots with his long arms. But overall, I think he will struggle to contain athletic wings in the NBA. This first clip gives us a look at some of Griffin's deadly shooting ability. The play starts with the ball getting swung out to Griffin on the wing. He then waits for the screen to come and moves a few steps to his right. When he sees the big man in the pick and roll playing off of him, he immediately pulls up and drains the three. Griffin has great touch on his shots and is also able to get to a shot-ready position very quickly. If you give him just a little bit of space to shoot, he can make you pay. This next clip shows off some of Griffin's ability to handle the basketball. The play starts with Griffin taking the handoff at the top of the arc. He initially dribble jab steps to the right, then backs it out a bit. He gets his defender to bite by opening his hips and stepping out on him. He then crosses over and gets downhill to his right and finishes at the basket. Griffin isn't the fastest player, but he is able to keep defenders off balance with his ability to handle the basketball. This last clip displays Griffin's struggles defending on the ball. The play starts with Griffin defending just over half court at the top of the arc. The offensive player hits him with a fairly simple crossover and blows by him in a straight line to Griffin's right. Griffin gets completely turned around and ends up losing his balance, resulting in a foul at the basket. Griffin can struggle to contain quicker players on the perimeter, and it could limit his upside as an NBA defender. AJ Griffin looks to be one of the best shooters in this draft. But in addition to that, he can provide value offensively as a secondary ball handler and with his ability to score at the basket. He might struggle a bit to adjust athletically, but overall I think he's well positioned to be a player that contributes positively to an NBA team. While I don't see AJ Griffin as a player that will be a superstar, he has great skills that should make him a valuable NBA starter for a long time. My NBA comp for AJ Griffin is Chicago Jimmy Butler. Griffin isn't nearly the defender that Butler is or was, but during his Chicago days, Butler was a player that could work on or off the ball on offense and provide a spark with his ability to shoot and get to the basket. Griffin is currently flourishing in this type of role at Duke and hopefully will be able to function in the same role at the NBA level.